This is the swastika, the original swastika. As you travel through Taiwan, you will see it everywhere, from temples to hospitals, everywhere. Five years ago, I set foot in Taiwan for the first time. I was excited and I couldn't wait to explore all the hidden treasures that this island had to offer. Like most expats, I got on trains and buses and started looking for anything that looked different, anything that wasn't Western. And as I started to explore historic sites and old temples, I came across this symbol, the swastika. I wanted to understand why this symbol is everywhere in Taiwan, especially because it has such a negative connotation in the West. It was clear to me that it couldn't have a connection with Hitler, the Nazis, or the Second World War. So where does the swastika come from? And what is different about the swastika in Taiwan? I did a deep dive, and it is just astounding when you discover the expanse of the use of this symbol. A symbol that has been used for more than 15,000 years. So let's start by looking at where things went wrong for the swastika. It all started with this man, Johann Ludwig Heinrich Julius Schliemann. Yes, 4 names for one person. In 1869, this German businessman and self-proclaimed archaeologist went on a mission. You see, there is this ancient manuscript, a poem called the Iliad of Homer. Now, this ancient poem is all about the war on Troy. Now, most scholars believe that this epic poem was just that, nothing more than a myth. But Schliemann was convinced otherwise. He packed his bags and traveled to Ischia, Greece, on a mission to find the location of the ancient city of Troy. And in 1871, Schliemann achieved his dream. On the Aegean coast of Turkey, on a hill called the Hisarlik Mound, he found the lost city of Troy. But that's not all he found. There were shards of pottery and sculptures, and at least 1,800 variations of the same symbol, the swastika. At this time, Schliemann's discoveries grew famous, and with it, the swastika symbol that he was discovering everywhere at all these historic sites. The swastika exploded in popularity as a lucky charm as sorts, appearing on Coca-Cola products, Boy Scout and Girl Club materials, and even American military uniforms. As I was researching the story, I was just blown away at how popular the swastika was by the early 1900s. It was like the fashion and lucky charm icon to wear, all in one. But unfortunately, the swastika also became tied up in much more volatile movements. A wave of nationalism was spreading across Germany at that time. German nationalist groups like the Reichshammersbund and the Bavarian Freikorps decided to use the swastika as their new symbol. It became the symbol of a pure master race. At the same time, Adolf Hitler's influence grew, and in 1920 he decided to adopt the swastika as his official party symbol. Then in 1933, the Nazis went even further. They basically said, "Hey everyone, this is now our symbol and no one else is allowed to use it." They basically placed a copyright law on the swastika, even though it's been used around the world for thousands of years.
Today is Victory in Europe Day.
This was the moment we'd all been waiting for. Enormous crowds had gathered outside the House and all over the centre of London to hear the end of the war in Europe officially announced by the Prime Minister. But it was the end of nearly 6 years of war in Europe. No wonder people went a bit crazy.
World War II ended and the Nazis were defeated. So the West looked at the symbol after the war and decided that this symbol is evil and should never be used again. But what they didn't realize was that people in the East have been using this symbol for a lot longer and weren't going to stop using it now. They didn't even get the memo. This is not footage from the Second World War. What you see here is a school parade from 2016 in Hsinchu, Taiwan. On the 23rd of December 2016, a high school had their Christmas parade. The custom has always been to dress up in a specific theme and do a small performance. But in 2016, the students chose the theme of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, which included the swastika flags and banners, swastika armbands, and a cardboard tank. When the footage started spreading all over social media, Western media groups were shocked. People from the West couldn't understand how students could be so insensitive. This is the Facebook post of Israel in Taipei, the unofficial office of Israel in Taiwan. They had very strong words to share. It is deplorable and shocking that 7 decades only after the world has witnessed the horrors of the Holocaust, a high school in Taiwan is supporting such an outrageous action as we witnessed yesterday. We strongly condemn this tasteless occurrence and call on the Taiwanese authorities at all levels to initiate educational programs which would introduce the meaning of the Holocaust and teach its history and universal meaning. After the event, the school board made an effort to teach children about the Holocaust and showed them films about the atrocities of World War II. I researched the teaching materials and look at this. The Taiwanese Ministry of Education now has a proper education program around World War II and the Holocaust to educate senior high students. This event just highlights how a symbol can be seen and understood quite differently by different cultures. So this begs the question, what is the origin of the swastika in Taiwan? For this, we have to go way back to the first Han Chinese people who came to Taiwan. So between the 13th and the 17th century, there were Han Chinese people who came over the sea to Taiwan. And with the Chinese came the Buddhist monks. But they only had small temples and their main function was usually just to do funerals and memorial services. But then the Dutch arrived in 1624 and with them a lot of new laws. One of these was a law that prohibited any religion that's not Christianity. And the penalty for idol worship was a public flogging followed by banishment. But in 1661, the pirate and warlord Cheng Shigong got rid of the Dutch, and with him came a lot of Chinese immigrants. The Chinese mostly came from Fujian and Guangdong area with their southern Fujianese dialect. This is a dialect you can still hear today in Taiwan. It's called Hokkien or Taiwanese and remains the mother tongue of the majority of the people in Taiwan. So from this time on, Buddhist temples would be built and the religion would flourish here in Taiwan. And with it, its religious symbols, including the swastika. So as you travel across Taiwan and visit historic sites, you will come across the swastika. But the swastika with a positive meaning. For the people of Taiwan, it is a symbol of peace, harmony, and well-being. For Taiwan, the symbol has a positive meaning, but for the West, it is not likely that this symbol will be accepted anytime soon. So what do you think? Should the East give up their symbol? Should the West embrace the swastika? Should more school education be given to the East about the West? Or should the West learn more about the East? Or is there a place to meet in the middle? Let's have a discussion in the comment section below.